tapestry grand, unraveling mysteries hand in hand, sailing the waves beyond the stars they soar, forever seeking more and more. Explorers at heart with whimsy and glee, the Wanderpus crew set their spirits free, in pursuit of good with chaos untamed, to find a new place to make their names. Wanderpus, their hearts entwined, sailing through memories left behind, stitching the bonds that forever tie, sailing to where the sea meets the sky. Luminaries' minds, curious and bright, they explore the unknown and seek the light. With every text and book unfurled, more is understood of this new world. Wanderpus, their hearts entwined, sailing through memories left behind, stitching the bonds that forever tie, sailing to where the sea meets the sky. Seen God steadfast against the tide, protecting the land they stand with pride, rising up from the city walls, keeping the rest safe through it all. Mysticians with their gift for spell, in the threads of magic they weave and dwell, observing the universe's hidden seams, propelling the crew to their hopes and dreams. Wanderpus, their hearts entwined, sailing through memories left behind, stitching the bonds that forever tie, sailing to where the sea meets the sky. Wanderpus, their hearts entwined, sailing through memories left behind, stitching the bonds that forever tie, sailing to where the sea meets the sky.
All right, everybody. Welcome to what is episode 4 of Building Steam. That's how you count. It's like 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 4. So this is like Kiera's gonna guest DM for us. She's gonna run the game Once Upon a Time. It is a storytelling game where the players will be putting down cards to tell just the story that is being that they are finding out. They each have an ending that they are working to in their hand. They do not tell the other players what ending they have because they want to play all their cards and then play their ending. So that's a real quick way how it works. So tomorrow we are doing the speakeasy that ends the storylines of the pawns. No matter how tomorrow goes, they are no longer pawns. They will be promoted to something else. And then we are going to be discussing the upcoming plans around what's happening in Alkali and what's happening in Alto. Officers, you guys have your little dossier that explains what Pina has sent you, and crew, you have the other version of it. It's just the less intensive version of it, and we will be talking about what everyone's individual missions will be in December tomorrow in the speakeasy. Don't worry if you can't be there. We'll probably be setting up little chats for every single game coming up. We're gonna try that one. We're gonna try to get that done. All right, so I will introduce the players and then I will hand it over to Kiera. All right, everybody. We got Sept playing Patagon.
Hello.
We got Eris playing Arel.
Hey.
We got Trixie playing Tlalli.
Yeah.
And we got Warlord playing Isaac.
Hello.
And running the game today will be Tori, played by Kiera.
Hello, babies. Your dungeon mommy is back.
Hate it and stepping back.
Why didn't I expect that? Why did I not expect that?
You're so welcome. So everyone, welcome back to the second installation of what we're creating, which is Wander Crew Tales to Tell in the Dark. The horns of literature have sound, and the librarian has called for aid. But it's a grumpy librarian, not the like evil one that we don't talk about him. That he doesn't exist. The grumpy librarian has called for aid, and for some reason everybody else is fucking off. They're doing their own thing, and we're the five that heard the. It's literally a horn. I don't know why. He just has a horn, and he does his thing. It's fine. It's fine. Don't ask questions. So we've all wandered out the door, I guess. I don't know. We're all out in the woods. And here's the grumpy librarian. And he's such a sweet dude. He truly is. I mean, look at him. But anyway, just look at him. Just look at him. But he's recreated the first time he's met the crew. In the forest. So he's got the logs laid out. He's got a fire started. It's warm and cozy, and he's got a snack table set up, guys. He has all these snacks set up for us, except he's kind of confused about what we eat. It literally is a table of so many foods that include sausage. He's got sausages with rolls on the side, and they're very nice rolls. Like they're like gourmet baked. So, you know, your basic sausage roll thing. He's got sausages wrapped in croissants, like this little pig in the blanket sort of thing. He has a salad that is got chopped up sausage in it. I don't know, it's just in this nice bowl, and he's got all these like very decorative big salad bowl, and he's got all these little bowls laid out next to it in his silverware. He's prepared it. He's got sausages that are uncooked and little roasting sticks for us to, for some reason, cook more sausages because there might not be enough cooked sausages on the table. I have no idea. But the centerpiece is a giant 3-tiered chocolate cake with sausages just sticking out of it, left, right, center, the very top. They're just rammed full of sausages, and he is so pleased with himself. He is sitting there. Oh, welcome! He says he's welcoming us all with his arms, gesturing for us to come and sit down. So what are you guys doing? What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna eat the sausages.
I mean, he loves that. Yeah.
I'll take a few different types to try.
Patagon has on the sausage and the croissant because just the combination is quite intriguing.
All right. And just for funs, let's go through and do a fit check real quick. What's everybody wearing?
Clothes. Tlalli's not fashionable. Probably
That's
just
okay.
a uniform.
All right.
Similar to last time, Arel is wearing more of her wintertime clothing, which is more similar to her regular uniform, only it's more visibly fleeced this time.
All right, Patagon, what are you doing while you're filling up your plate with croissant sausages?
Yeah, the croissant sausages definitely wearing or just like a fall type jacket, so probably closer to like a flannel type. You know, nothing too heavy, but it is a little bit chilly out. So.
Yes, and Isaac, how are you garbed on this evening?
Bit of like wool trench coat, but usually just dressed like he normally is, I guess.
All right. And I mean, you guys, there was no invitation. This librarian just literally blew a loud ass horn, and we were all just like, and decided to wander out and see, like, what the literal fuck is happening? I don't know. We all bumped into each other in the hallway and we're just looking at each other like, does no one else really hear this? And wander out to just find this. I mean, he's really tried though. So though the table is nothing but sausages, and chocolate cake with sausages, he's very happy and he's welcoming everyone to sit down around the fire. And he's here for a reason. He's got the book that we started the last game in his hands. Of course, he's got his Post-its and his sticky tabbies and his pen and his pencil because it's important to be able to erase things. He's got a secondary notebook even. Like, he is prepared to take notes. And he says,
Yes, yes, gather round, please take a seat. I have questions.
so everyone, take your seats, get your snacks, settle in. He flips open the book really quick and he says,
The many-headed goose came from a creator. I must know more about the creator.
so essentially, we're now going to tell him the story that fills in all his Post-it notes, hopefully. He has a lot of questions, but this is going to be the first one he asks. Let me pull up. There we go. We want to start. Do I start? I can start. And I just click and drag it to the center, right?
Yep, that's should put it down.
There we go. All right, so Katori is going to start out by saying that, remember, this was a camp that we had found this many-headed goose in. Just as a recap, we were camp counselors. A grisly murder, or 2 or 3. We're still not quite sure on that. That might be on another one of his Post-its. Happened, but we encountered a many-headed goose. The goose got away. But one of the questions we left unanswered was, we stumbled upon a cabin in the woods that was completely empty, but I do believe there were hints as to, maybe some devious things were happening in that cabin. Possibly, more likely, the goose was created, and the creator lives in this cabin. So we're going to start out by outlining the enchanted forest around this cabin. Okay, I don't have any of the red cards, so I'll just go ahead. The cabin is surrounded by moss-covered trees. Not just your normal, moss is just on one side of the tree. That's how you know we're north. No, the whole entire tree is wrapped in moss. There's ivy growing up over the cabin. You can tell that someone's been to the cabin, but it's overgrown still. It definitely maybe might be a camouflage, but it's definitely something that catches your eye because of how much growth is on it. And it's definitely kind of a weirdly welcoming cabin. It doesn't look warm and cozy. It just looks so very interesting that you'd want to visit it. It's more of a curiosity than it is a homey feeling, if that makes sense. So do we just go to Arel now?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, is everybody like where they're sitting on the thing? Does anybody want to change where they are? You can change your order.
I'm good with this.
I'm alright.
I'm fine myself.
I'm okay.
Give me 2 moments. I'm just. Now, all right, living in this magical forest, he got inspired quite a lot by a lovely place. It was a lovely lake. Always, whenever he appeared, he noticed a reflection of the moon, even if it was bright as day or as dark as the night. Whenever he cast his eyes upon it, he'd see in each ripple the stellar white glow. Occasionally, maybe it wasn't a white glow, but he was never too certain to put an eye on it. For around this forest, the lake was quite large. You would always find a puddle of it, but if you followed it, you could always check there was every crack, every nook, always a bit of stream following back towards itself.
Just so everybody knows, you can continue to keep playing as many cards as you want out of your hand in one turn. It's not just restricted to one card a turn.
I wasn't sure if I could location.
Yep, and you can just keep even multiple locations, multiple aspects. You can keep it going.
But by being constantly with all this inspiration, he had to write it down. But Goose Story it was his final product. He had many stories before, ones that he'd discard, never share. And over time, it outgrew his cabin. And he ended up creating what he would call himself his personal library, carved into the trees of the enchanted forest itself. Many trees with the bark exposed with the spines of books for never to be read. It was his own personal private library, after all. I have not gone back. Mention.
All right. Patagon.
Yeah. So in in the library, there was a very most favorite of books. It was one of his early journals, and let's see if I can make that. And in that journal, it depicted how he was originally creating some of these, the library itself and the start of the vast, let's say, I guess, empire, sure, in the forest here. So it very much is most prized possession because it, it's like the origin story of how everything started. So if one was to read through that, they would be they might be able to glean maybe some of the magic that he himself found in those early days. I think that is the only card that's going to fit with what I want to do right now. So.
All right, Tlalli.
Shoot. Okay, so we don't have to start out with a location card, right?
Nope, whichever card fits the story.
Okay. So in this journal, there is a small golden key. And I'm struggling. For now, that's all I got. I'm sorry.
That's okay. What does the key unlock?
A musical box. That the guy keeps in his room. old memento from a dear friend.
All right, so the song means something to the creator.
Yeah.
Perfect. I love it. Isaac.
The reason that the song means something to the creator and why the golden key is so important is because, goddamn it, there we go. It's not let me. Sorry. The song reminds him of his dear beloved. I cannot get this thing to grow. Thank you. It reminds him of his dear beloved who he had lost years before, who inspired him to even go move away into the forest, and what began the cycle for all of this.
So, his beloved is his inspiration. All right. All right. So, his beloved was murdered by a troll. This troll also lived in a deeper in the forest, in a cave, obviously, as they do. But his cave was also sort of I want to say a place where he kept his hoard, but kind of. He had a lot of different relics of sorts, books and more keys and treasures and jewels and all manner of crazy things that you would think anyone would keep in their home, because why? I mean, I got myself a crown. I'm going to keep it at home. So what caused problems was, though, there you go, a spell book. Or at least that's what the troll called it, because the troll didn't really understand that it was more science. But he called it a spell book, and the creator he stole the spell book from the troll, and to get even, he watched them, he followed them to wherever they were going with the book. They didn't make it very far before the troll descended upon them and attacked his beloved next to the moonlit lake, right on the edge of the water, injuring his beloved gravely, falling into the water. She did not make it out. So he decided, the creator decided not to leave this area, to stay here. He built yes, it's a modest cabin, but it's what he and his beloved always dreamed to be their castle, their home. And so he's allowed the greenery to grow up over it, because she loved that, and because he sort of sees it as maybe something that's growing from her memory, from what's left of her. Yeah, I think that's what I've got.
Alright, I think I need to draw a card.
Oh, you need a card? Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
Cute. Many years had by for him. After writing about the goose, he decided to take a break to try and stop writing, but didn't get him. But his life of solitude, the life of peace that he wished for, wouldn't come easy, as townsfolk from a nearby settlement began to make their ways towards the forest, seeing its wood, seeing it all the lushness as profit. But he tried to protest, say leave the forest. But the townsfolk would not listen. They kept coming in, day in, day out, bothering him, cutting trees down closer and closer to him. And that's when it happened. They uncovered something but deep within the enchanted forest. Giant hive. This giant hive, they didn't want to touch it. They decided, we'll leave it. And over time, with more trees, it just, the size of it began to grow, it seemed. Some even claimed that it seemed it was watching them, growing as they cut the trees, just to spite them. So that one day they'd have to burst open the hive to see what was really inside. But the man didn't even notice that to begin with. He just assumed that in the forest it was peaceful. That's all I have for now. All I can play, sadly.
All right.
So in this this giant hive was intriguing to not just the townsfolk, but the woodland creatures as well, and it was so large and that a clever fox wanted to sneak in and see what was really inside this hive. Is it treasure? Was it just honey? Because honey is tasty. So they hatched a plan to try to get past the hive guards, and for that they found a magical sword that had ability to be more or less invisible. So it's like an invisibility cape, almost. But so carrying that sword on their back, they snuck their way into the hive, hoping to see what was inside. Though this angered the queen, essentially, who issued an assassination attempt on the fox. And I don't know. They weren't successful, but the fox had to go into hiding to hopefully not have another attempt. So we'll find out what happens next.
Let's see. The fox ended up hiding in a little quaint port town. Oops. I messed up something. Okay. And decided to hire a brave knight to help them with the queen bee problem. And that's all I got.
All right. Isaac.
So the brave knight, in his attempt to deal with the queen bee problem, traveled throughout the port town, gaining whatever information he could, until eventually he came across a windmill. And if one of you could make that bigger, please. He came across that windmill, and inside, it was an empty, desolate place with nothing more than a stone tablet. An enchanted stone tablet with unknown properties. And with no one to tell him or guide him as to what it's for, he simply chose to take it and continue on his journey towards the hive.
All right. So I want to clarify, I have to have all the cards in my hand gone before I can play my ending, correct?
That is the rules of the game. But if we think your ending is perfect for it, then I would just say go for it. But yeah, if you want to follow the rules, you're gonna have to play all 5 of those cards.
I want to follow the rules a little bit. All right, so that tablet is radiant. It glows. It has its own. It seems like it has its own personality, even. It sort of whispers in your ear. It tells you. It tells you, sort of not. I don't want to tell it tells you what to do, but kind of, it's guiding you. That's the vibe you're getting from this enchanted tablet. It's trying to help you, friend. Thank you for freeing me from where I was. Now let me help you. But you kind of do get like a little bit of a danger vibe from it, because danger vibes, it's the thing. And you don't quite know, like you said, it didn't. No one told you about it. No one guided you. You just said, this looks nice, but it's definitely given you some concern. Well, as you're carrying it around, and that's what I've got. It does resonate, yes. It resonates with some.
Able to get that card, please?
Will do.
Oh, are we supposed to be getting more cards?
I've been giving you one each time. Every turn you get a card. I have been giving them to you, but when you guys play more than one card in a turn, you can that's how you get the lower numbers.
Okay.
Alright. Read this. Okay. Over a course of a few days, the tablet begins to specify, trying to say, please, if I had to help you, you have to go to this man. You need to find him. He knows more. He knows about what's in there. He knows about it all. Go to the wizard. The wizard will be able to tell you. And the wizard, he was a strange fellow. Wrinkly skin, quite leathery, similar to the spine of a book. His eyebrows furrowed, dark. But despite looks, he was a genuine guy, always willing to help, even under the weirdest of circumstances. To some, you could see he was quite whimsical. Granted, when he would help, but he'd have fun with it. He'd try to he'd make sure you'd remember how he helped you. So who knows? The tablet did say it would help, but how would he help? That's all I have.
The whimsical nature of the wizard decides that, hey, let's see what the fates say, and pulls out a dusty old crystal ball from beneath a velvet cover. Hasn't used this in years. Doesn't really want to, tempt fate, as it might be said. But we really do need to know where this tablet should go. So, waving his hand above the crystal ball to have it emit some light, he slowly chants and asks, what possible ways could we get more information about where this tablet came from? And in a low, almost, magical rumble comes from the crystal ball that we need to seek out a specific child. A child of the forest, maybe? We might not know. But from there, the crystal ball says that that would be that is your fate. And how you get there will decide how this story might end.
Am I fine to place an interrupt card?
Yeah, absolutely.
Go for it.
After he waves his hand, and as you see the visions disappear, he gives you the ultimatum, telling you that you now must find your journey. And as you look up, you see a pair of twins, young in age. They seem to have opposite colours. One has a blue top, one has blue hair, one has the other orange hair and orange top. You look to them, and the wizard gives a telling look. One of these two might seem to be the key to you finding out what to do. And as you look, they both say in unison, one of us will help, the other won't. You can't tell who, we won't say which one is which. They give a little laugh, since they're young, they're twins of the forest. And that's all I would like to interrupt with. I'm not sure whose turn it goes to now.
Should be Tlalli, I believe.
Shoot. Okay, so the group finds out that these twins live in a hidden cottage that's hidden behind a waterfall, a raging waterfall. But it is enchanted. Oh. I can't. I somehow doubled my card.
I don't know how you did that.
And now I can't drag it out. Like, I can drag it, but it won't. I don't know what I did.
Is it still in your hand?
Yeah. Like, I double clicked on it and I guess I glitched it out. Oh, okay, there we go. Oh, it's still in my hand.
Oh, okay. Here you go. I put it on the thing. It was the raging. Okay.
Yeah.
I stole it from your hand so I could put it out.
Okay, thank you. I still have it in my hand for some reason. Where was I? So the twins lived in a cottage behind an enchanted waterfall, and you have to solve their riddle to get through. And that's what I have.
You played all of your cards. You can put the ending down if you want to.
Ooh, the riddle's gonna be the ending?
If you don't think your ending works, I will deal you another card, though.
I don't think my ending works.
Got it.
Yeah, next person.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Yeah. Sorry mine are so short, I'm not good at this.
No, you're fine.
We all live together.
I'm currently suffering from the effects of a monster I drank earlier, so my brain just started lagging a little. So as as the journey is continuing, the stone tablet from earlier begins to whisper in an ancient tongue. And yet for some reason you're able to understand it, and it's whispering violent thoughts to you. It's urging you, when you find these children, you need to do away with them. They will hinder you. They'll stop you. They will ruin everything if they continue to exist. And that's all I have.
Am I fine to do another interruption?
Fine by me.
We can do it.
Under the stress of the tablet, I was right before the wizard. It would be right now. Would I have to? And it ends up in doing allocation fight. As you see your supplies, you pick up what's closest to you, and you decide that here and now, you do away with those child twins. Clearly for the betterment of everybody. I put fight cards in the middle. I'm not sure anyone can see that.
The fights.
Although, at first, the twins seem to be giving up a good fight. They're coordinated, they know each other, they're twins. But you figure it out. And you manage to pin both of them down. Come on, but you stop for a moment, I think. And that's where I'll leave it for the next person.
Oh no, I don't even know what to do with that.
Me every time it's my turn.
Is it my turn? I apologize.
It seems like it was your turn. It became
Okay.
your turn.
It is, yep.
All right. Okay, I'm just gonna go like crazy left field with this. So just prepare thyself. The twin stepmother emerges from a tower that just like materialized out of literally nowhere. Like you see mist, tower. It like grows up out of the mist. It's not huge, but it's impressive. You know. And the stepmother, can I bring that to the front? No, I can't. Crap. All right, well anyway, she steps out. And she's like, "Stop. What are you?" And that's what brings you pause. What are you doing? And is demanding answers. Demanding answers to what's going on here. Obviously, she has no idea. And I'm not quite sure where to take this one, so I'm just gonna leave it right there. There you go. There you go. Presents.
Right. Do I draw now, or do I...
If you think you can end,
I
then
should will do.
yeah, you can just end it here.
Let's see if I can... Alright, let's go. Second, let me just place it here so I can build up. What are you doing, she asks. Listening to that? We buried that for a reason in that hive. The stone? It was malicious. And that little... You threw the balance away. Those twins, the only thing keeping this place together. She exclaims as you look down. You try to say... You ask her what to do. How do we fix this? And she gives you an ultimatum. Well, not really an ultimatum. She tells you what to do. You have to sacrifice yourself. End yourself. Re-give your life energy to the twins to try and bring them back. To try and restore order to this forest. Because without it, corruption would only spread. So, with bated breath, you accept it. Try to give yourself... Try to rectify the sins of that divulging the sin. By trying to sacrifice yourself.
Okay. Now, I know I'm not DMing this one, but like me and Nika play a lot of a game called Call to Adventure, and this is basically the story version of that. And the whole time you guys have been playing, I've been thinking about this as like, how does this story fit perfectly into the world that we have set up in our other game, in the normal game? And I think a lot of it does really hold true. Like this person, like we know must be from somewhere in either folk song, yeah, definitely from folk song, I think, with all of the whimsical wizards and whatnot. And with the enchanted twins in the forest, and like moved to the area around the Camp Crystal Lakes that we have. That was clearly both an enchanted forest that then became cursed. Like finding that hive in Sonnery and having it have a tablet that released like a queen, like an evil queen, is so perfect because that can just be the Red Queen from the bee pantheon that we've already like shown, like their goddess of war. And like whoever this was somebody that like was a scientist, as Kiera established, that they thought was a wizard of some, it was like magical, but that wasn't a spell book, it was a research book. One of many research books that we've seen in the game. It's just like, who do we know that wrote dozens of research books and journals? Like, Ezekiel has already written, like, is the character that already wrote all this stuff. So, like, I think you guys just told me how Ezekiel died, and that he might have been one of the god catchers, the people who, like, imprisoned spirits because they were considered dangerous.
Oh, that's
like,
cool.
Does it all make sense? Did like I don't know who these twins were though, but we murdered them, so
As is tradition? I don't know.
I mean, it happens. So.
Oh my god.
usually we make
I'm
friends
loving
out of bad guys, but you guys just straight up ganked people.
There's a lot of furious writing on post-it notes across the campfire from us, by the way. The grumpy librarian is just taking notes. Oh my gosh. He's sort of wishing he had some sort of magical tape recorder because he is just mind blown by this tale. The book is glowing as he's taking these notes, because remember, the pages glow. The book was blank at one point. So as he's filling this in, as he's making additional tabs and post-its sticking out every which way, it looks like absolute madness. It makes sense to him, and it looks absolute madness to the rest of us. The pages beneath are glowing because he's committing our story to a truth. Because some of these, you guys know, the best folklore, the best stories to tell in the dark, well, they're based in some sort of truth, in some sort of story that's been told somewhere. So, and as he's scribbling down, he's committing all of these things to forever live in his little library cart as well. So this book could be pulled out by someone on another plane, another town, another continent, maybe only like 5 miles away, but maybe also 50 miles away. They're going to be able to read this book. I don't know if he's going to publish it, but we better get like rights to it, because if not, we are so missing out on money.
Money.
Okay. All right. So he's nodding. He's scribbling and he's nodding and he's like,
But why a goose? Why a goose? 3 heads? What is this 3-headed goose?
Why not a 3-headed goose? Like, you got a problem with 3-headed gooses? Geese? Goose? Is it gooses or geese?
I mean, it has plural heads, but it's not a plural body, right? So, like, what?
But do the heads have, like, different minds?
Like a Cerberus?
Yeah.
Let me tell you the number of times I've had this very same problem with Pollux and Castor, because I say like U4, meaning U4 players, but I'm aware that there's 5 characters there.
I mean, it's a 3-headed geese, would it not be? Christ the mind wants the body.
Yeah, they gotta have different minds.
So it's a singular goose, but with 3 different personalities?
Yeah.
Like a hive mind.
Hive goose.
Oh no, please.
Which insinuates as a mother goose the central of all the 3-headed geese.
So hive goose has a... Oh, very interesting.
And he's writing this down, guys. Like, we are doomed. This is a thing now.
Are we telling just the story of the 3-headed goose this time? Is that what we're doing?
I think so. I think that we have to define the 3-headed goose for our grumpy friend. Please, you may stand up. You may help yourself to more sausagey wares. Get some cake, I guess.
I still have that card.
Oh yeah, I think that one just like, I think if you leave and come back, it won't be there, but it's just kind of glitched. Like I've been trying to take it out of your inventory.
It's just there to haunt me.
Ooh, ghost call. Well, given
Here,
the
I'll
time
be
to
right back.
stand up and stretch my legs, I partake in some of the sausage product, but getting a generous helping of the cake.
He's not smiling, all right? I don't think this guy is capable of a smile, but you can definitely tell that, like, he approves. Like, he's happy, he's proud of himself. That he has provided this snack table of happiness for the people who answered his call. And you know, you can tell he's warming up to you. He's warming up to all of us because we're just snacking away. Katori's got a sausage on a stick and she's just roasting it because I don't know, maybe it's a different flavor. Nobody knows, so she's winging it. Let's just do the thing, I guess. So she's just roasting one and she's just kind of looking at it, checking to make sure it's cooked. What are you guys going in for?
Sausage croissant.
Tlalli's gonna take some of the uncooked sausage and play fetch with Frog.
He's intrigued by that. That is fascinating. Frogs eat meat? Like,
This is strange.
but that's like a different post-it. Like he's got another notebook of like how we're weirdos, and he's just sort of taking notes.
They really like their sausages.
So he's definitely like he might be judging us a little bit. It's fine though. He's an alright dude. Okay.
Nice. And watching Frog play fetch, Patagon's gonna go and try to get a slice of the sausage cake because he has a new spicy hot sauce that just might complement the interesting combination of meat and chocolate.
I love that. I love that so much. All right, so we're just sort of sitting around the fire, roasting. He's the librarian's finishing up taking the last of his notes, and he's really, really fascinated. Though, like, why was the goose created? Is a note that he's got written down. What is the purpose? Like, why wouldn't you just have a few pet geese? Why are you making one big bodied goose with so many noggins? He does not understand. So he needs to know more about the origin of the goose. And it doesn't have to be specifically the goose. Maybe the motivation behind creating the goose. Maybe just Ezekiel just found it in the book. Just was like, well, I mean, like you would find like a delicious sounding bread. You're just like, oh man, I really gotta bake this bread. No, he was like, I gotta make this goose. I gotta make the murder goose. So oh, there you go. My cards weren't popping up for a second. All right. We're going to start this round off back in the Enchanted Forest again, because he created his home away from home. Cursed as it may be, because, as you do. And this is where all his inspiration comes from when creating things. He's got the spell book, of course, we know. The book of sciences and whatnot. I suppose this book would specifically be a book of anatomy. Probably not necessarily like goose specific anatomy. But anatomy nonetheless. Science can be applied to a lot of different things, right? If you're brave enough. I don't know if that's a word you want to use. And he's flipping through the pages. He's absorbing the knowledge. And his plan is to create something that he could call in further publications of his, in other stories that he might tell other people, of other men and women of science, something he deems truly majestic. Which apparently is going to be a Hydra goose of murder. Or maybe not. Maybe Arel. Is there something different that he creates first? Well, what do you have?
Oh, he does create something first. A prototype, a proof of concept to show that he could create the goose. And he created at first the quill that would write it all. And when he held it, he could feel it, the ever-flowing malice and bitterness that came from a goose. And as he wrote with it, his words became more and more entranced with venom, the hatred, the pure toxicity that only a goose could give. And he realized, I can understand. Gooses might be majestic, but they don't harbor enough. They need to be more. Gooses could be more. And can I interrupt myself?
Absolutely.
I did.
As an unexpected twist, he decides that the hell with this, creating this majestic goose. He's going to create the ultimate goose, the goose, the purest, most pure form of the goose. And all it needed was 2 extra heads. And I'll slide it onto you.
So, in this twist, he looks across the room at his reflection in the mirror, and wonders if if that other side of the mirror was also yourself. Could you possibly, create a Hydra by just, mirroring whatever was on the other side? But those thoughts might be for another day, another time, perhaps. Yeah, that's about all I got right now. My cards are.
All right, Tlalli.
Sorry, looking at my cards.
No, take your. It's fine. We're telling a story, and we want to kind of talk a little casual, a little slow, because this little dude. I mean, he's got sausage fingers, the theme of the day, right? So he's scribbling furiously. Still, he's also like in between us thinking. He's like drawing a goose. Just separate post-it. He's doodled a 3-headed goose. It's just, he's fascinated now.
The wizard started having loftier ideas, like what if instead of a 3-headed goose, he'd do a 3-headed griffin. And I can't connect any of the other cards, so
It's all right. That is quite lofty.
yeah. I want a 3-headed griffin.
I mean, that'd be wicked cool. Isaac, what you got for us?
So as he was writing with this horribly enchanted quill, and these machinations came into his mind, he slowly began writing in his journal everything that he could think of, anything that mirror put into his head any wild ideas. And the thought of three-headed goose became three-headed griffin. But what if three-headed griffin gooserin? He spiraled, and he spent years and years writing in this book, making essentially a strange bestiary. And his his madness is what, and using that horrible quill made his notes extremely magical. And it called upon a darkness. And it told him exactly what he needed to do to bring about these horrible creatures that will soon come to light. And so, he journeyed off, built himself a large tower, filled with everything he could need to not only capture the creatures he would use to test his theories on, to combine into horrible amalgamations, but to perfect them as well.
Well, shit. All right. Okay. During the building of his tower, digging up the earth, moving it, because you gotta have a solid foundation. Gotta make sure that's nice and deep in the earth. He runs into a treasure. A crystal ball. It sets him back a bit. He's distracted by it. It's not a crystal ball that can tell him the future. It's not a crystal ball that helps him solve any sort of intense riddles or answers to any questions he has. It is simply It is simply a ball that shows him his biggest hurdle. Maybe not hurdle. Hurdle's not the right word. But the thing that's going to hold him back the most. A love. It's his biggest distraction. It's this magical ball is discouraging any sort of human attachment, any sort of romance. Telling him to stay solitary, stay focused. And that's what I have.
Right. All right. 2 moments. Huh? Am I even able to get a sense?
Sorry, do you want another card? Is that what you said?
Yes, please.
On the way.
Here. He decides that to cast aside his love, he'd create a new item, one that would trap them. But he decided, no, to go further. He wanted, yes, he'd trap these people. He'd trap any instance of love that he'd see in his life. But he wanted it to work for him. He decided to create his cursed lantern. One flash from it would pull a person's soul right into it. And over time, the culmination of people he deemed, what he deemed attachments to, he trapped within there as the white flame grew brighter and brighter. However, this was quite treacherous, to say the least. As it tended to malicious spirits, they grew the animosity grows. It becomes more than the vessel would hold. But he didn't care. He followed what the crystal ball said. If he needed to achieve everything, to stop himself from being held back, he had to cast aside it all, to put it all, and store it within that lantern, so that one day, he could light the way for his ultimate creations, for his world. And I'll pass it to the next person.
As the months passed, the lantern's light grew ever more radiant, with more and more souls that he had to capture to keep on the path that the crystal ball had so foretold. But this started growing an insatiable violence, because one can only be so so alone for so long before you start to possibly lose yourself. So, diving deeper into this madness, he turns his goal back to his original idea in that journal from so long ago. I must create the three-headed goose. But how can you get multiple souls into one vessel? And that is the seed for the next turmoil of his soul.
Okay. So to get multiple souls into one vessel, you need the Azareth crystal. But the problem is the Azareth crystal has a magical child inside who is basically its life force, and the more magic you take it from it, the more life force you take from the kid. So yeah. I'm gonna pass it on to the other person. Or next person.
All right, Isaac.
All right. So, as he returns back to his original notes, his original ideas and findings to create the perfect three-headed goose, and in searching for ways to trap souls in a single vessel, as he's doing this, word gets out of his dealings, his stealing of souls from people who try to reach out to him. Rumors spread far and wide, and assassination attempts are made, planned. But he's not upset, because this just gives him more souls to fuel that fire, more reason to seek the end of this journey to create these beings. Why else would he do it? After all, he spent his whole life doing it.
All right. If I've got really like nothing, do I ask for more cards?
Yeah.
Okay, does that complete my turn, or do I just play
Oh
with the
no,
cards
like
here?
we've been giving cards to Eris at the beginning of turns if when they need them. So
Okay. Oh. Okay. I made that rather large. All right, called from the fog, because I just really like that vibe. called from deep within the fog-laden fields past the dwelling. Maybe attracted by the orb, or probably the lantern, or, drawing all that energy and life force from that child. A stranger just appears out of nowhere. It's hold on. A fox that one could control, or could say is quite whimsical. It looks innocent. Looks maybe as though, I don't want to say, he gives like an otherworldly vibe. A vibe of possibly this fox could guide him through the questions he has, the turmoil he's facing, the challenges he has laid out before him. But questions must be asked of the fox. The fox sort of wanders into his front yard, I guess, and just sits there. Doesn't say much. Definitely looking around, very, very obviously assessing the situation, very alert. Not just, displaying normal fox behavior. Maybe more awareness than one could consider from a wild animal. So definitely giving off the vibes of this fox is more than it appears to be. And just sort of doesn't leave. Might hop off to grab a snack, but comes back. Always lurking. Arel, your turn.
Well, he decides to keep eye on the fox as it comes in and out, in and out. And he notices it one day. It isn't a fox. Yeah, he's seen her before. He's seen that person. Who was she? Oh, Killerly. It was the princess for the area. Quite high and mighty, using her magic to move herself, her castle, and her people. She decided to keep an eye on him. Hearing about this malicious lantern, thinking that if she stuck around she could try and understand him, gain his trust, so that she and her people could be safe. But he found out, but he doesn't tell her. He doesn't reveal it. He lets her plan away and scheme. So that one day, he decides he'll enact it. He'll go for his next stage of the plan. As he sets off, just to really drill it in for her, this fox, he would head off towards her castle, but find it for himself, so that when he'll take it back from her for trying to fool him, he'll do that. And I'll place the castle card there, and I'll list that to the next person if you'd like to describe it.
Okay. We have a fox, we have a princess, we have a castle. What can I do?
Like, real quick, if you guys don't mind me interjecting real quick. Looking at it, like, as you guys are telling this story, I really think that you guys are telling the story, because we're still focused on Ezekiel's the one that made the three-headed goose, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're telling the story of how he got there. And, like, we've obviously seen him experiment with griffins. But, like, this fox, this whimsical fox, especially because of the artwork that's on the whimsical card, it makes me think of the Folded City, which is very like surreal. It's very Hieronymus Bosch meets MC Escher, with logic doesn't make any nothing makes sense really. But like one of the Folded City coming and like watching Ezekiel as he makes these things is very interesting to me. That like could be where the fox is a princess is, you know, strong word, but yeah, and that's just what's going on in my head. You guys can take it wherever you want. Obviously, that's just what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. So on his way to the castle, he's kept the azure crystal that contained the spirit of the magical child, and he meets a goblin next to the road who would like to trade that azure crystal for a very precious looking amulet. And the amulet glows with a faint, we'll do a faint purple color today. Which he'd seen before in the mist and fog around the whimsical fox, and was intrigued because it was such a very vivid and specific hue that he was felt drawn to this being connected maybe to the princes themselves, but definitely wanted to keep it close, and maybe he could use it for to get some information out of the princess later on. So onward for Tlalli.
Can I get a card?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's creepy looking.
My bad.
I like it.
Oh, so cute.
That's basically what I was picturing for the Princess Fox from the Whimsical Princess Fox.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting tired, so my mind is slowing down.
It's alright.
Can I pass?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Sorry.
No, you're good.
No. Sometimes the cards just aren't there. Isaac, what do you have?
Yeah, I also have nothing, so I'm also gonna pass.
Oh.
I feel it. My cards are very interesting and they're not helpful right now. I feel you.
All right. So, the princess is aware that you have this amulet. She's been searching for it for quite some time. She proposes, she becomes herself. we're adorable fox princess there, and offers Ezekiel a trade, that amulet, for a trip to her personal library, where Ezekiel can remove and keep one book that interests him in exchange for that amulet. And that's all I got.
The implication that I just got from you is, in exchange for the soul of this magical child that allows one body to hold more than one soul, is traded to Ezekiel for any information he wants out of basically the royal library of the folded city.
Yeah, but she wants that amulet.
But she wants that amulet.
Yep. She wants that in trade for one book. He gets to keep any book, but only one, in exchange for that amulet.
Does your ending make sense for this? Because you don't have any cards in your hand.
I mean, maybe, but I was kind of hoping to go around again.
Oh,
like I want to facilitate more story. I don't necessarily want to. Yeah. No, you're good.
Absolutely.
You're good. Thank you.
Ezekiel panics for thinking that things might go awry from his plan. But a grin comes across his face. Any book you say, any book at all, it has to be taken out of your library for the deal to count, correct? She agrees, and he gives his counter offer. The book I would like is the book of everything in your kingdom, everything that has happened, and everything that you've done. I want to know all of the past events, everything. I want your history, and I will give you this amulet for it. Quite nervous at why you may want that, the princess decides to agree to this. But it isn't. But she doesn't do it without a bit of a argument and a fight. She argues with semantics, asking why we'd want to need to know all the knowledge of her people. Why give all that away? Why would the amulet be worth that for him? But it seems he doesn't seem to give that away in the argument. He says that's his offer. That's all he'll take. As he stands there, amulet in hand. The argument. For reference, I think I'm fine to use fight here as an argument. Would you guys agree? Kind of using it loosely.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to leave the results of whether she takes it, agrees to give him the book or not, to the next person.
Well, being a scholarly sort that Ezekiel is, this this argument turns more into an intellectual, debate. The debate of just who and what are the citizens of the folded city. And they go back and forth. Ezekiel probing the princess, very reluctant to give away their people's secrets. But in a rage, Ezekiel says that this is my final offer. I must have that book. And what else could I give that would sweeten this deal. That was more than the amulet that I've already provided. So, how about that, Tlalli? You want to find what could possibly close this deal?
So in his little lantern thing, he has a fairy. And this fairy... can grant eternal life to one person and one person only. And I'm gonna pass it to the next person.
Alright.
Oh, and that's what he offers to sweeten the deal. Forgot that part.
Eternal Fox.
Yeah.
So after the initial argument and his additional offer of the fairy, the princess takes a moment to consider her options. Knowing that she ever so desperately wants to have that crystal, and knowing that with the power of a fairy keeping her alive, well, she could rule forever. Whatever her plans are, she could see to it that they surpass whatever he might be planning with the book of her people's history. So she takes his deal and agrees to guide him to the library in the coming days. And it is at that time she decides to double-cross him instead, planning to, again, assassinate him. For despite the fact that she wants the crystal, she would rather he not pose a threat in the perfect future she holds. So, she enchants the very book that he so wishes to gain. And it encrypts the more pertinent secrets, so that if he does decrypt it and find out, it would shatter him, break him, and make him not so much mad, but inconsolable. He'll lose himself within his own mind in ways one could never imagine. And you're up.
Yeah. All right. Can I have another card, please?
There we go.
Oh man. All right. To enchant this book, the princess has to take it to a magical city. That is located, just beneath a waterfall. She has to speak with the whole set of there are more fairy people in different fairy vibe, but more fae. And she tells them of the trap that she would like to set. And she is trusting them to assist her. And this is not magic that she has. She has to borrow this magic from another. Has to ask for help. And I will let Arel decide how this happens.
Would I be able to quickly draw a card by chance?
Yeah.
Thank you. Her sister agrees. I do believe it's in our best interest when we work together. I will fetch you my bravest of knights, and I will imbue his spirit into this curse. With his righteousness, it should strike him down on his darkest hour. She says calmly as she lifts her hands, moving her fingers between different shapes as she begins to talk and bring this curse to life. But as we interrupt that, Ezekiel decided he would lay a trap of his own for creating an enchanted sleep clause upon the amulet, so that the moment she wore it, tying it around her neck, the spell would set off, forcing her into an eternal slumber. At least, that as long as there was multiple souls present within her mind. That's why he needed the amulet on her. He gave a laugh, knowing that the moment he took that book, he won. At least in his mind. And then I'll look to the next person.
So, book in hand, starts the trek back to his tower, eager to start reading just all the secrets that have been hidden from the whole world. While on his way back, though, he stumbles upon that giant hive. The same hive that held the tablet so long ago. And near the entrance was that fateful sword that the clever fox might have been our princess. We're not exactly sure. History never figured that one out. But that cloaked sword happened to be dropped right where the assassination attempt had happened. And Ezekiel picked up the sword not knowing of its magical properties and disappeared into his own mind because it triggered the trap inside the book. And I don't know how he got out, because we definitely know at some point he must have got out. But for now, he was tragically trapped inside of his own mind and partially inside, the book, I guess.
Alright, so this one ended tragically ever after? So... Okay, let's put the pieces of this story all together, shall we?
Yes.
Alright, so in his attempts to, combine souls together, he created the three-headed goose and also hypothesized a multi-headed griffin. But he didn't have enough magic for it without a crystal. But then, as soon as he got the crystal and created the goose, we know because the goose exists.
Yep.
He made that. He was visited by a clever clever whimsical fox princess from the Folded City. And she offered him more knowledge in exchange for the crystal. And he took the deal, but they both cursed each other. It was a triple cross. So he's like upon reading the book, his mind was fractured and he's stuck inside of his own mind, whereas the fox who is now granted immortality by a fairy is
Asleep.
just permanently asleep.
That's the tragedy, in my mind.
Nobody wins.
Kind of seems on brand sometimes.
Do these, just real quick, do these stories mention where this is? Like, oh, it happened at Cap Crystal, like in that forest. Never mind.
Yes. Yep. We're telling the history sort of surrounding that cabin.
Peanut just shows up all of a sudden. He's been in the woods listening to the story. And he's just
Katori
like,
forcefully offers him a sausage. Just sausage.
snatches it out of the air and just starts munching on it, looking at everybody. Just like, is there any truth to those stories? Snap. Is this real? I know that legends and whatnot exaggerate, but is this Ezekiel person still out there?
God, I hope.
Well, from what I've heard, pages of the book have been found, and if you listen real close, you can hear him pleading, asking anyone to come pull him out of the pages. But that mostly was just children's tales to scare them into growing up.
You see
Around
Peanut
around.
in deep thought. It's I've just make a note to this, Officer Katori. If anyone is to finds any mention of a book of Ezekiel, we must gather this information.
Katori's chewing, so she doesn't say much. She just nods because she's a lady. She doesn't speak with a full, but she nods and says,
I need this to be the mystician's top priority.
"Mm-hmm."
Having gotten
Peanut, go
a
ahead.
glimpse of the folded city during their altercation, Patagon definitely nods and says, "Yeah, that if this book has any information about the folded city as well, we would definitely want to know whatever we can find."
Peanut just side-eyes the grumpy librarian.
What book did he lend the librarian the last time they hung out?
I'm not even sure if he lent him it. I think the librarian just took it.
You never know. You didn't really ask him, right? Whatever book it was, he hands it back to Peanut. But he's made notes.
Oh,
Oh, one of those.
he's dog-eared the pages. No, he's a librarian.
No,
if
he'd
he
never. No.
just post-it notes, like the little
Mhm.
tags. He didn't
Mhm.
actually write in the book. Okay, all right.
Mm-mm. He's not a monster.
I was about
like-
to be triggered.
Oh no, I
Half
like
this
textbooks
party would
with notes.
descend upon him if they saw dog-eared pages.
Peanut just looks at the notes. It's just every time somebody appears, it's just like this page has Gemini, Peanut, Rennick, Osiria, and Pollux and Castor, but this page only has 3 of them, and each page is notated that way. Every single page. But
Sorry, Trixie, I had interrupted you. What were you saying?
I have no idea.
No, I did this to you.
Oh no, I was saying, I like textbooks with notes in them, so I don't have to take my own notes.
I mean, that's fair. And that is fair.
my 6th grade history book had all the test answers written in it for like
awesome.
upcoming tests. Because like they'd be like, "This is a book out test," and like they would just be listed because the teacher never changed the test year to year.
Oh no.
So everybody who got that assigned to that book just got perfect scores in that class.
You're just nailing it.
So yeah, how's our librarian friend feeling about the books he has now?
Ah, yes. So he's nodding along as he's scribbling the whole time. Never looked up from his book, unless you guys said something like a little dodgy, and then he just kind of looked up, but with a more of a face of questioning. Like, did he just hear that? And then right back to writing again. So never interrupted once, just constantly. I mean, he's made so much progress in this book. The book is glowing. More than half of it now is glowing. With the Wander Crew tales to tell in the dark. And he's now he's just like, okay. And he's packing up the display of sausage that he has put out for us is sort of starting to vanish. No idea how it was edible, yet it still came out of thin air. But we don't ask questions. He summoned us with a random horn. Like, we don't ask questions anymore. And the table and the food are starting to disappear, including the chocolate cake full of sausages. However, did that hot sauce help the chocolate sausage cake at all? I have that question for you.
Oh, very, very much so. Though I will preface it to say that I'm a large fan of spicy food. So if you do not like spicy things, it probably wouldn't be up your alley.
All right. So now the grumpy librarian knows about this. Is it a sauce or is it a seasoning?
It would be a sauce. I believe it's possibly one of the new ones from Reeves.
He's eyeballed the label. He knows to provide that next time. He calls for us to tell more stories. And he's thanking us. Thank you. And he's gathering up his Post-its. The weird creature, I don't remember what I decided it was, that pulls his carriage is sort of starting to scratch at the dirt. The sausage display has now completely disappeared. There's just like a fog left behind. I'm really a fan of fog, guys. It's really great. And he's just packing up the fire's disappearing. The logs are going to stay there because Katori had put those down last time, but the fire's just putting itself out. Like it was never even really quite there. There's no smoldering. There's no smoke. It's just slowly disappearing, fading away. And he's putting his Post-its in his jacket pocket. When he puts his items in his pocket, it seems like he's reaching down elbow deep, like his pockets might be just as deep as he is tall. It is a very strange vibe his jacket is giving off, but it's fine. You don't question that either. You gotta have a place to keep your notebooks and your pens and stuff. You just have to. So he's packing away, and he's like, thank you. I will return again. And turns around and just, that's it. He just walks right into his carriage and disappears.
Oh, well, that's peculiar.
I mean, the sausage was good, I guess.
Yeah, there's no more sausages. Tlalli's gonna leave.
Tlalli only came for the sausage.
Yeah. Like, she didn't even hear the horn. She just smelled the sausage and decided to come.
Damn. All right. Well, you know what? I like that.
It is strange, though, to see a fellow come not once but twice to ask us for stories, write it down in seemingly a magical scripture, and then leave without trace.
Katori kind of just stands up, like dusts her pants off, and she's like, "Have we seen weirder though? I feel like we have."
I mean, typically when we see weirder, it ends up bad. So hopefully this is positive for once.
I mean, what about a mystical traveling library and a grumpy little man that brings us snacks could be bad?
Well, they're very good snacks too.
Yeah, they always make me want to talk more.
That is strange, isn't it?
Isaac, in your front pocket of your suit jacket, you see a business card slightly glowing. And as you pull it out to look at it, it's immaculate. Like, it has the feeling of a book cover, like an old soft leather book cover. Like, and it smells like old books. And it says the Union of Advanced Librarians. It's like, and on the back of it, it says, "Expect our call."
Yes.
I kind of hold it for a moment, looking at it, running my thumb across it, kind of admiring it because it's like embossed, like the words are embossed on it, and it has that nice old, like, handmade paper feel. Kind of just puts it back into a shirt pocket, pats it, and just kind of looks around and just nods approvingly of this night.
Yeah, and if that's all that Kiera has, that is the game.
Yes.
Moving forward, and I don't want to speak for Kiera, but Kiera says she wants to do more storytelling games for the game, right?
Yeah.
If you are still interested, like, we will do more of these. And like, this is a lot of this stuff, even like the chaotic game that it was, like, is very usable for the story that we have.
Dun dun dun. I love it though. I love that we were able to put together something that can now be sort of written into the history of what we're already working on. Or maybe the current? I don't know.
I mean, it absolutely, like, I initially never had like a huge plan of like using his like the Ezekiel character to do like big things. I just like the idea of like an author that shared a name with a former bad guy, but I enjoy like going deeper with that. It's funny.
And I'm here to help.
And I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody like playing these games. Like, thank you for like learning a new game real quickly and playing the game. And I'm sorry that like we tried twice and it didn't work, but now this time we got it finally. But yeah, I'm love
excited.
world
This
building
game is
games.
fun. Yeah.
And
Keep your ears open for new horns being sounded. You too might be a part of the story.
I feel like I
sure.
need to make a horn sound for you guys to play.
So
No,
now we need that. Good. Add to the list of like production value that we need. How do I personally feel about it versus Fiasco? Because I don't know if everybody here has played both. Like, I'm just gonna say it. I love Fiasco. I like this game quite a bit too, but Fiasco is more drilled down. Like, you have more structure. And I don't think that's always the best thing, but this is like a really loose game, which is fun too.
Yes, it's more. This one is more broad strokes. Where
sure.
Fiasco says, "This is a situation. What about it?" Like, very specific.
Yeah, if I may, I would like this. After playing both Fiasco and this, I would say they're quite similar, but in fundamentals they're quite different. Since obviously, Fiasco feels a lot more we are kind of working together to get the story across, and whilst this has obviously the strategy of trying to build upon your story as best as you can. And I think it was a really fun game. This, but I don't think it's fair to compare it to Fiasco since in execution they feel different.
That's fair. They both can be great games, for sure.
Fiasco helped us build the foundation. And then, this game is going to help us sort of expand on it.
Sure.
Build the wings. And they both have really good vibes and good uses. Just two different directions.
Yeah, I think Fiasco is more social world building, whereas this is like storytelling world building, which are two different things, but they both work very well, and especially when you can connect them.
Yeah,
And
depending on like your premise, like this is very much like more historical. It feels like, at least so far, while like Fiasco is more, could be more modern because you're playing different characters that are all interacting. But
I like them both.
I too like them both.
Each time we play, should we like rotate which system we're using?
We totally can. We could totally do that. And there's other storytelling games if you're interested in just like every time it's just a different storytelling game where you don't know which one you're getting. I've got plenty of them. These are just the two that Fiasco and this one were the two that I thought would work best for like a first time situation or early time situation. But I've got more storytelling games.
I don't know. Let's just play it by ear. If we have more interest, we can maybe do these this sort of vibe a couple more times to build on other facets of the Fiasco game we played, and then move on to something different to maybe build another foundation for more storytelling.
Absolutely. Also, if the librarian collects other things, what if he doesn't just collect books, but maps and songs? Because there's a game called Bell Song that's really good.
I mean, and I wanna know more about that.
What does Belsong entail?
Bell Song is a GM-less game where the party is generally like Redwall-esque characters, like very like animal-based, and you are just telling a story, and each one of your characters, like, you can do this, but you have to phrase it as a song if you want this to be done. And then everybody's just like, how good was that song? Do we think that song was enough to get this done? Or you have to speak in rhyme, or it's all like your character class dictates what you have to do to get things done, whether it's speaking in rhyme, whether it's singing the song, whether it's like your character has to have an elaborate dance while doing things. All of these situations.
I desperately want to play this.
It's a really neat game. But yeah, I mean, I think that wraps this one up. And tomorrow we have the speakeasy where we deal with the pawns and we go over the plan for next month. We should have the schedule up if it's not already up. It will be going up probably today or tomorrow.
We'll
I'm
see
not
tomorrow
sure.
since it's on the later side now.
Yeah, tomorrow. But thanks everybody for like getting back to us promptly, and I really look forward to all of these games this month. They're going to be wild, everyone. Again, thank you so much, Kiera, for running this game. I really enjoyed it. Like, I've got a lot of stuff that I'm going to like fit into the narrative, and I'm really happy about that. And thanks all four of you for just doing a fucking stellar job once again.
Thank you so much for having me, and you guys, thank you, all four of you, and Alan, thank you for supporting this weirdness that is our grumpy librarian and all of the strange things that come from my brain meat. Just helping me build stories that are just fun and collaborative. Thank you.
That's literally all I ever want to do.
Oh, so much support. I love it, you guys. You guys are great.
You did amazing.
Here, here.
All right, so we're gonna wrap up, heck off, and we will see y'all tomorrow for the speakeasy. I will tell you that we'll do the apprentice stuff first. So if you are somebody who has one of the pawns and you plan to be at the speakeasy tomorrow, the first half is where you want to be. All right, so we're gonna heck off. Bye forever.
Thank you guys. Goodbye.
Good night.
Remember to take your home, everybody. Toodle pip.